It takes power and grit to shape the wood used in luxury staircases at Seattle Stair and Design.
Then all the better.
But in a tiny Watch Your Head studio 1 floor up, a much softer touch is needed.
Okay, let's see.
To build Luke Haynes creations.
A lot of times I'll just call myself a designer or a quilter.
Demographically speaking, Luke's profession might align with your grandmother's favorite hobby.
Yeah, the stereotype for quilters would be old ladies.
But this is not your grandma's sewing machine, and Luke is not your typical quilter.
But if I needed to put a big brazen title on, my autobiography, I would have to say quilt architect.
After all, architecture
Then I'm quilting in the exact right spot.
was his first calling. Luke designed and built homes before teaching himself to use a needle and thread.
I make quilts like I design architecture.
On this series of blankets, he's stitching images inspired by photos and doing it with the actual material from his model's clothes.
Yeah, I think that turned out well.
With quilts like this, Luke just might be to sewing what rock and roll was to music.
Figure I'm the Lady Gaga of the sewing world.
But why stop with one quilt?
It's super. I love it. Is it going to stay this way?
When you could do so much more?
I'm amazed. Did you do it?
You're gonna go big, right?
Big.
It's beautiful.
As a house.
Hey, I can't get over this. I'm flabbergasted.
Along 15th Avenue in Seattle.
It's very Capitol Hill.
A home that sat abandoned for 2 years now sports a quilter's facelift.
Yarn graffiti is what I'm calling it.
Luke spent weeks collecting 500 pounds of hand-crocheted blankets from Goodwill stores.
That must have taken a really long time.
With help from about 30 others, he needed only 2 days to dress the house.
I admire the imagination.
But why? Luke was simply helping his friends announce in dramatic fashion, this will be the future home of Ada's technical books.
But they wanted to do something with the building to kind of say, hey, community, we're here.
Hello, world is a good attitude.
But for all the thumbs up,
I fully support it, 1,000%.
Luke always feared that one day he might arrive at the house.
They still came and vandalized it.
To find this.
Likely it was because they needed a blanket, and this is a easy place to get them.
A patchwork of Afghans that once covered the front porch is now missing.
Kind of a bummer, though.
It is a bummer. There's no more hello world.
But it won't unravel their attitudes.
There you go. That's what you get for using functional items in your art. Is at any moment somebody's going to steal it.
Right. My next installation will be shards of glass.
The project remains a source of pride for Luke Haynes, the architect who went from building houses to quilting them. In Seattle, Joe Fryer, King 5 News.
Luke did replace the stolen quilts on the house. He also put out some extra quilts for those in need, so they won't have to take them off the house in the future.